Oh, okay. Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are. So we're gonna get started in just a minute. Today's topic is day parting, which is I know something that a lot of people have uh, questions about, and not everybody agrees with the idea of day parting. So we're gonna just have a little bit of a presentation and some conversation around it, and hopefully we'll be able to get some value out of this. So let me get started with my screen share. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you guys see my screen all right?
Nice. Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, great. All right, so today we're basically talking about day parting, and we'll talk about what day parting is, how is it implemented, what are the different ways in which you can achieve day parting, and then I'm also going to be showing you how you can do it with PPC Ninja. If you guys are PPC Ninja users, as of today, we are rolling out day parting for all the kind of new accounts, not the grandfather ones, but the new accounts that are on our new pricing plans. This is included as part of your package. So let's just start with some basic concepts first, and I might stop from time to time to ask you guys your opinion, your questions, and things like that. So first things first. We're going to talk about what is day parting to start with, right? And you know that day parting has actually two aspects to it. There is a day of week, and there's also a time of day that is ideal for showing ads to certain people, right? Now, if you talk about traditional marketing, let's say TV, for example, TV has been I guess the starting point of day parting, because you don't want to show the wrong ad at the wrong time. So let's say you have a family sitting around the breakfast table, you probably won't be seeing ads for like wines or you know um, uh, cocktails and things like that. You're not going to be seeing those things in the morning. You're probably going to be seeing better targeted ads to the mood of that time of day, when people are most likely to say, "Oh, I'm running out of cereal," or I need to buy this or that. So timing your ads is actually such an important thing. Knowing when to show your ads. Uh, so that's been the traditional way in which day parting works, so that you can actually show the right ad to the right person at the right time of day, when they're in the frame of mind to actually take some action on it. Now, you could show an ad for some sort of wine in the morning when people are having breakfast, but it may not have the same impact. You'll have a smaller adoption rate. Fewer people will take you up on it. They might remember it, and they might go and purchase it later. But there's something to be said about immediacy. When you're showing something that immediately triggers something in the brain, and you're like, "Oh, I need to buy this. I better do it before I forget." That's basically timing your ads correctly. Now, all this is, from the point of view of, the conventional, traditional type of advertising. It doesn't necessarily apply to Amazon the same exact way, because Amazon works differently, right? So how does Amazon work? Well, in Amazon's world, there is this concept of budgets getting reset in the middle of the night. So at 12 a.m., your budgets get reset. And you will notice that right away, Amazon starts to spend a lot of your money, and your CPCs tend to be high in the middle of the night. And for a lot of people, by the time they wake up, like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., their $10 budgets or their $5 budgets are already spent and gone. Boom, there's nothing left, right? So what in Amazon's world, that's the reason why we're doing day parting, so that we use our budgets in the right time frames, when that money can be used for reaching people who are more active and who are likely to be real purchasers rather than people who are sitting in the middle of the night and just, maybe it's a click farm or something in China that's just clicking on your ads or whatever. So, you want to protect yourselves from spending at the wrong times so that you can spend that same money in the right times when you have a better CPC available to you, right? You can optimize the same spend and bring it over to the right time of day when you can see the best results. That's essentially what we're trying to do here. Okay, so just remember that budgets get reset, and you don't want to start the day at 8 a.m. with nothing left, right? You want to start the day at the right time so that you hit the right people and that they purchase from you at that time. So I'm going to give you some examples of conversion rate at different times of day. So here's an example. Conversion rate is a very important metric in Amazon's world. Conversion rate is something that is very, very closely related to relevancy. When you have a high conversion rate, you're sending the right signals to Amazon about how important a particular keyword is for a product, right? So if you have a high conversion rate, you're also going to build relevancy and ranking as a consequence of that. Now look at the conversion rates for this account between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. It's like close to like 10%. Now this account generally has a higher conversion rate, so just keep that in perspective. So you're starting off at a lower conversion rate, and then after 4 a.m. Things start to pick up, and your conversion rate actually maybe doubles or triples. So it's close to like 30% conversion rate in this band here at 8 a.m. And then around 12 noon, it's again starts to slow down a little bit. And then towards the evening and night, again, it's like sub 10%, right? So this is how your conversion rate is trending throughout the day. Right. So obviously you want to capture this time frame as best as you can, where the conversion rate is really good. And what does a good conversion rate do to your advertising? It gives you a better ACoS. Why? Because you need fewer clicks to make a sale, right? So if your conversion rate is 30%, you only need 3 clicks or 3.3 clicks, 3 clicks to make a sale. Whereas if your conversion rate is 10%, you need 10 clicks to make a sale, right? And if you get CPCs of $2 in the middle of the night, that means 10 clicks times $2 is $20 to make a sale. Whereas in the middle of the day, you're spending only 3 clicks at, let's say it's 50 cents or 60 cents, or let's even call it $1. A dollar in the middle of the day with just 3 clicks, you're only spending that much, $3 to make a sale. So your ad efficiency improves if you're targeting the right high conversion rate time period, and the CPCs are also improved in that time period because Amazon, the CPCs tend to trail into a better range in the middle of the day. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually look at your data and then try and figure out, look at the math of what would it take to get the best results. Like you can find those windows yourself, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so this is the first example with conversion rate trends throughout the day. Now let's look at ACoS, right? Hour of day ACoS. So it's for the same account between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. You see that you have an ACoS of greater than 20%, so maybe touching 23%. Then during the day after 4 a.m., it's like close to, I would say 12%-ish, 12 to 15% in the middle of the day. And then look what happens at the end of the day. The ACoS just starts to go up and up and up and up. And this is basically wasted ad spend, right? You could have completely eliminated this and just use that same campaign budget to serve these hours when you're getting the best results. Your dollar can stretch much further, much longer if you can repurpose the spend into the best hours of day. Now let's look at day of week, because there are some days that work better for certain types of businesses than other days. For example, if you have a B2B product, which means you're serving other businesses, then the chances of you getting better results from Monday through Friday is higher than on Saturday and Sunday, because that's when business buyers are off. They're not actually actively looking at ads for your type of products. Whereas if you have like a business to consumer brand, you probably want to make sure that you capture the weekends, maybe because that's when they have time, when they're actually shopping. Some people say that Friday evenings is the best time for them. People are unwinding and they're looking at their phones while watching TV or whatever. So you've got to find out when your audience is most active and when they are most likely to make a purchase within a very short period of time instead of maybe later or whatever. So if you look here in this case, you can see that Sunday, the conversion rate on Sunday is around 7%. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's close to 12%, right? And then again, Saturday, it comes down. So it gives me the feeling that this brand is not likely to do well on the weekends, right? So you want to restrict how much spend you have on those weekend days so that you can, maximize the overall budget for your account on the days when you do have a better conversion rate, because that's going to give you higher profitability, right? Now let's see the same thing from the ACoS side of things, right? Day of week and ACoS analysis. Sunday, the ACoS is close to 40%. Monday, Tuesday through Friday, it's around 22%. And here Sunday is back to like 40%. So what if I said, hey, let's just not spend any money on the weekends. This is the amount of money we're spending on weekends. Let's not spend any of this money, or let's even, say, okay, we're going to spend a fourth or a third or whatever small amount of money on the weekends, and essentially use that budget during the other days of the week when we can see much better results, right? So that's the whole idea of day parting. And now the $1 million question is, how do you know when your ads are doing the best? Um, so for that, you've got to measure your performance by hour, like every single hour of every single day and every single day of week. You got to measure the performance. Obviously, I'm not talking about having a VA do this every hour. I'm not talking about, there's a much easier way and you all have access to it. So follow the instructions here and do this yourself. So the first step you want to do is go into your ad reports, right? The reporting section, go there. Then you want to look for sponsored products, right? And then within that, you have to select campaign. The moment you select campaign performance, this section here will open up and you will be able to see that you can actually download your campaign performance data by hour, so hourly. So select this. They give you the last 14 days of data, but you can do this exercise over and over again, and that way, have a larger data set. Just keep appending these 14-day intervals so that you have enough data to make a decision, because data sufficiency is the enemy of making right decisions, right? If you have too little data, you're probably going to make the wrong decision. If you're basing your decisions on a couple of conversions, like 3 or 4 or 5 conversions kind of scattered through the day, you're probably going to make a really bad decision because 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 piece of data don't actually give you the right pattern. So the more data you have, the better decisions you will be able to make. So now that you've downloaded this report, you actually want to generate a heat map of what time of day did better or worse and so on. So this is what a heat map looks like, right? This one is actually giving me the total spend by hour of day. So for example, Monday, Tuesday through Sunday, and then you have these Pacific time zone for the US market. They measure in they actually give you data for Pacific times. So you can plot this all, and then you can see that between midnight and about 4 to 5, this is the amount of spend that's happening. Most of the spend is happening a little bit later. Now, this is only a spend chart, but we can actually give you a spend chart, an ACoS chart, a conversion rate chart, and a sales chart. You can even get other, fancier charts by using our hourly kind of day parting hourly heat map tool. It's free. So let me just show you what it looks like. It looks like this. It's something we built in Google Sheets. So you basically upload your campaign report here, right? And then you can instantly get this. You can basically instantly get your ad sales by day, you can get your ad spend by day, you can get your ACoS by day. And this is actually the best one because this will tell you which hours of day are the worst. So for example, here you can see um, 5 this is 5 a.m. Thursday, your ACoS was 326%. That's super high. You can also see aggregates over here so that you can determine whether your averages across multiple days for that same time of day, what that is, just to do sanity checks. Now you notice that there's some blank spaces here. This basically means that there was no data, and this is the problem with data insufficiency. So the recommendation here is to, collect lots and lots of data and put it all together, and then you'll be able to see the metrics correctly. We also do it by conversion rate so that you can also see when was the best conversion rate. And that way you can figure out what you want to do. So if I just go by the ACoS chart and I decide that, hey, my worst hours are let's say between so this one. So for example, from 2 a.m. all the way to 4 a.m. I have 61% ACoS here, 200% ACoS here, and 105% ACoS here. Actually, even from 10 o'clock, I see that 10 o'clock actually had 97% ACoS. So I have a feeling that these are my worst hours. Now, there's a few data points that are missing, and so that's because of data insufficiency, which is why I said you need to add more data, multiple 14-day periods, kind of stitch them together and then upload them. That way you'll get a more accurate picture of what's happening. So generally speaking, these might be good hours from 10 to like 4 a.m. For this particular brand. I'm not saying it's the same for you guys. Every brand is different. Every product is different. That's why you want to do this analysis first. And then in terms of day of week, also you can see this aggregation right here. ACoS is the worst on Friday. And yeah, I think Friday seems to be the worst for this example. The rest seem to be pretty even, 30%, 32, 33, 34, 35. So yeah, this is the worst day of the week. So, knowing that is the first step, because now that you know that there's a problem in these hours of day or these days of week, you've got to do something about it in those hours. You've got to somehow cut the amount of money that's bleeding out and going into Amazon's pockets, and you're getting nothing back in return. So this is essentially an exercise in protecting your bottom line. So if you guys are interested in the free sheet that I just showed, go ahead and scan that. I'll just give you a few minutes. Just go either take a screenshot or scan it, and that way you'll get access to the tool, and you'll be able to combine it with your own report that you downloaded from Amazon, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on in your account. All right, okay, so now that we know that there's something bad that happens at certain hours of day and certain days of week, we want to curb that, we want to protect that. So we're going to be talking about how to achieve it, like how there's a few different ways out there. In fact, some of you who might have come in through the LinkedIn discussion we had yesterday, there was a little poll that I did asking people how they manage day parting, and I got a few different interesting answers. So the three options were, I adjust my bids in those hours, right, the worst hours. Second, I adjust my budgets in those worst hours, and the third one was I pause campaigns in those worst hours, right? So let's talk about those three methods, right? And talk about the pros and cons of each of those methods. So the first way that most people said that they would want to do in order to manage day parting, they said it was going to be bid adjustment. Now, there is a problem with that. So I'll explain the problem. Each time you alter your bid, your bid is actually associated with three different placements. So if you're altering your bid, remember that you're also altering your placements and the amount of impressions you're getting on each of those placements. And therefore, you shouldn't be doing this in a hurry, especially for primed campaigns where you've worked hard to make those campaigns show up at the top of the search results page. And those are ranking campaigns, for example, and they're actually contributing to your good ranking, good organic ranking. If you try to lower your bids in the off hours, what happens is that those placements get shifted to a different placement. You're not going to win top of search with a low bid, right? So you will start to show up more on product pages, or you start to show up on page 2, which is part of rest of search. And when that happens, because you're trying to protect yourself, you've lowered your bid so much. When that happens, your performance deteriorates. Your conversion rate on those different placements starts to deteriorate, right? And so, because of that, you thought you were doing yourself a service by lowering your bids, and you end up with worse performance. That's the opposite of what you wanted, right? And that's what tends to happen when you mess with your bids. Your bids are not to be touched unless there's a really good reason for you to mess with your bids, because it's very hard to recover from a bid change. A bid change can actually lead you down a spiral, either a positive or a negative spiral, that it's very hard to recover from, especially if you're going downhill, right? So that's the reason why we don't really like making any changes to those bids during those hours, right? The second way that people say that they manage is by making budget adjustments. Now, budget adjustments don't really help that much. Like if you try to maybe manually change the budgets every hour. Let's say if there was a software that did it, and every single hour you're changing your budget, what happens is that Amazon will still go and spend more than the budget you allocated. Why? Because they have actually taken your permission, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, they've already taken your permission to go above your budgets. If anyone can go into your settings inside your campaign manager, go into your settings and see what permission you've given Amazon. There's two permissions available right now: 25% above budget or 100% above budget, right? If any of those are set, I mean, they will be, one of them will be set by default. It tends to be the 100% one. I would say go ahead and change that to 25%, regardless of whether you're doing day parting or not. You don't want to have unpredictable results, and you don't want to give Amazon that control of changing your budgets as they like, right? If you have a max budget, for a campaign, you want to be able to stick to that. You don't want to go above that, right? So I don't think budget adjustments are useful here, because Amazon can still go and violate that adjustment that you made in those hours that you don't want your campaigns to spend money. So the third way that we come to is campaign pausing at the worst hours. So once you've identified these worst hours when you're not seeing good results in terms of conversion rate or in terms of ACoS, you're better off just pausing campaigns in those hours, and we see that does the job. Now, what are you going to lose here? Well, you're going to lose sales that happen in the middle of the night, but it's going to be a small percentage of your overall sales anyway. Plus, the fact that you're running sales or you're getting sales in such bad conditions, meaning the worst conversion rate and the highest ACoS, actually is not good for your overall metrics. You're not going to have any profitability in those hours. And secondly, you're giving Amazon the wrong signals, because you're telling Amazon that my conversion rate is terrible. And if your conversion rate is terrible, your rankings could get impacted, because ultimately conversion rate maps to relevancy, which maps to ranking, right? So from all aspects, we've actually seen that running, basically pausing campaigns in those worst hours is doing a fantastic job. And we've been testing this since November and have really, really good results here. Now, one thing to note, if someone wants to try this with bids, Amazon has their own method of doing bid optimization based on scheduled rules. And the way this works is that you can actually select hours when you want to run that automation, and essentially you basically take a base bid and then add a multiplier in those best hours. But what this will require you to do is to decrease all of your bids to a low amount so that they can run in the worst hours, and then in the best hours you're applying a adjustment in the upward direction, the positive direction. I don't like this method, but in case anyone wants to do it and is comfortable with the complexity that comes with it, then Amazon has its free way of doing day parting. Go ahead and give it a try, right? But I doubt if this is going to be easy to manage. In fact, you'll have to start with a lower base bid around, all around, and that's going to impact your placements, etc. Also. So again, just to recap, we definitely prefer the campaign pausing method, and it's doing a really good job with the results. So let's talk about the results, right, with the campaign pausing method, right? So here is an example of before and after, right? So this was run over 4 months, starting from November. And the before shows that the ACOS on Sundays and Saturdays was above this kind of median, this line here. It was close to like 40%, right? These were the worst kind of days. And after we started curbing spend on the weekends, this is what happened. The whole week started becoming more even in terms of profitability. It was more or less around the 15% mark. And you'll also notice that, because we were able to, reduce spend in the worst hours and also reduce spend in the worst hours here during the week itself, our overall ACOS started to shift down towards 15% instead of above 22% in the week. You see that? So all around, the ACOS improved with just a couple months of pausing and unpausing in those, worst hours. So I want to show you how you can set up day parting in PPC Ninja. So PPC Ninja is, proud to roll out the day parting feature as of today. We've just rolled it out for all of our new pricing plan customers. Anyone who is on the grandfather plan, you can always upgrade and get access to not only day parting, but also keyword rank tracking and all of the new features that we're going to be rolling out. So let me show you, assuming that you are, inclined to kind of upgrade and get on our new plans, then let me show you how this works. For those of you who have no idea about PPC Ninja, feel free to ask questions, but let me show you how it's done inside PPC Ninja very simply. So there's 3 steps you'll need to do. Step number 1 is you need to create your heat map. I already explained how to get that heat map. I already provided a QR code that gives you access to the free heat map. Whether you use PPC Ninja or not, that's free for you, so enjoy it. And that will give you an idea of the hours of day that you want to try pausing your campaigns. Okay, so you've done that. Next, you basically go into PPC Ninja into the campaigns view, and then you mark campaigns as day parting enabled. Some campaigns you can say disabled. I'll tell you when you might want to just keep them disabled, even though the performance is not good. So, and that case is basically for branded campaigns. If you have a substantial brand, you actually do want your ads to be running 24/7, because if someone is looking for your brand, they should see your ad, right? Even if it's at a lower bid and so on, it should be enabled. So that's the reason why I personally do run branded campaigns, uninterrupted, but at a very low target ACOS, right? So you will go into your campaigns and you will mark them as enabled for day parting. And once you do that, your day parting kicks in, right? Now you can also mark those times that you want to enable or disable campaigns through a grid, and we provide you that grid, and you can just go and say on or off, right? Now let me show you that. There's a little demo here I have for you. So step number one, step number one is you figured out which hours of day you want to pause. Let's say you figure out that it's going to be between 10 and 5 a.m. PST, right? So what we've given you here is the corresponding UTC time, because Amazon only understands UTC. It might give you reporting in PST, which is more of a human readable time zone, but internally, for all their practical purposes, they use UTC time, which is some weird combination of, gosh, don't ask me. In any case, what you want to do then is to pick up the UTC times, because that's what you're going to enter into our software at the end. Okay, so you figured out the worst the worst hours, then you go into campaign day parting. It's right here, right? And then you can do a bunch of actions to set these on or off in bulk, but you can also do it one by one, right? So in UTC, let's say my first UTC hour is 5, right? So 5:00, that's 5 a.m. UTC. So I go into PPC Ninja and I look for 5. And basically this is how you basically set up your campaign schedule, where off means that your campaign is paused and on means that your campaigns are active, right? So as you can see here, I have gone in and I have turned off my campaigns at certain hours, starting from actually 1 a.m. UTC all the way down to 11 a.m. UTC, right? So that's where the UTC PST thing comes into play. You can also, if let's say you're in the UK market or Australia or whatever, you can also convert this very instantaneously and say, hey, my market is actually UK, so I'll go pick UK, and then it's going to switch everything around and give you the exact match for UTC, and then you pick it up from there. Okay, well, the goal is to just figure out when you need your campaigns on or off, and you use that grid and you use our grid, and then you just enable it. Now let's come to campaigns that you want to be included in the day parting system. So here's the campaigns view. You have a bunch of campaigns, right? And you have day parting enabled or disabled. That's where the selection happens. Now, there's one thing I need to say here is that not all campaigns are eligible for day parting. The ones that are not eligible are the ones that have any paused ad groups, because the way we're implementing this system is that we essentially don't pause your campaigns, we pause the ad group inside that campaign, so that you can always see your campaigns in a delivering state, so that if, let's say, you have a VA in a different time zone from the day parted time zone, they won't be surprised and they won't see all their campaigns showing up as paused at whenever they look at it, right? So for that reason, we're doing pausing. We're actually implementing the pausing in at the ad group level. So we need to make sure that no other ad group is paused. And if there are any campaigns that have multiple ad groups and any of them are paused, then that campaign is not eligible for departing, because we won't be able to switch it off and then back on reliably. Instead, if you don't need those paused ad groups, the better way is to simply archive them, and then our day parting will be applicable to those campaigns as well. So it's a straightforward thing. Just make sure that you don't have any paused ad groups, and then you're good to go, right? Now I'll show you some examples of where my day parting is not eligible. Okay, so I guess in this account there aren't any, but in some cases there are. And so then I can troubleshoot, I can actually go inside those campaigns, and then I can just make sure that there is no ad group there that is paused. And if there is, I'll just archive it. So basically that's it. It's very simple. And hopefully you'll be able to start, implementing this and seeing results. Now, if you're nervous about pausing, in the middle of the night or on the weekends, what you could try is you could try this with a very small time window. Like instead of pausing it for like 7 or 8 hours, you can just do it for 2 hours. Like you can try it between 12 and 1 and 2, maybe something like that. The worst hours, you can pick those up and pause it just for those 3 hours, and then compare your before and after, right? Your new report, you can again download it after 14 days and you can compare those two and see if there was any improvement. If there was, then great. You can keep going. You can keep expanding that thing. So instead of boiling the ocean or feeling nervous about the fear of missing out on sales, you could just experiment this for the worst possible cases. For cases where your ACOS is really, really terrible. And then that way you can kind of get around this, the fear of, missing out, right? Okay, so how much does this cost? I'll just give you, for those people who are not yet PPC Ninja users, how much does PPC Ninja cost overall? So I'll give you the pricing tiers. We have 4 tiers that are visible, but there's more that, if you are an agency, for example, or you have a large brand with more than 5,000 ASINs, please talk to us because we're happy to create like a new tier for you, even though it may not show up here. We can work with that. So the first tier starts at $199. Then we have a $499, $999, $1999. There's 4 tiers. What do you have in first tier? You have up to 5 users. So if you have a team where you want different people from your team to to only look at different markets or different profiles or different brands, then you can make the visibility of that different for each of them. So up to 5 users are included. Then you can add up to 5 ad profiles, which means if you have 5 markets, or if you have 2 brands, one with 3 markets and one with 2 markets, that's fine. Those are ad profiles. And you can manage up to 50 ASINs. This is child ASINs across your whole set. That's 50 ASINs. And you will also get up to 250 keyword rank tracking slots. And you can set these up and you can start to rank. Last week, I did a webinar on keyword rank tracking. It also does amazing things like Amazon's choice badge tracking, bestseller badge tracking, and coupon tracking, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very flexible system that we use Looker Studio for. So Looker Studio and BigQuery. Definitely check out our YouTube channel for that video so that you can get an idea of what all is included. And then as of today, we've also included day parting. I should update these slides, but anyway, so you'll get access to day parting as well. And as you go up, you can see how many keywords you can get in each tier. If any of these higher tiers are better suited for you, you can always upgrade from within the app, and that way you can get access to more ranked keywords or more ASINs or more users or more profiles. Whatever these numbers are, you can self-select the tier and you can go, you can change it whenever you like. So that's basically it. And I have a special offer for those of you who haven't yet tried PPC Ninja. Definitely go ahead and scan that QR code, and that'll take you to the page where you can self-select your tier and get started anywhere, and then you can change it later on. But our usual, free trial is 14 days, and if you sign up today, we're giving it away for 45 days, right? So that's I think that's a value of close to $250, right? And because our lowest tier starts at $199. So that's it. I guess we talked about a lot of things related to day parting. If you guys have any questions, this would be a good time to ask. Let me stop sharing my screen and let me see if anybody has posted anything in the chat. So there's nothing in the chat, but if there's any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so Ruth is asking, what will happen if day parting is implemented through a sponsored product's account level budget cap? Does it affect the campaign performance? So if you have a budget cap at the account level, that's that budget cap will continue as is, and day parting will, be another thing on the side. It's not gonna interfere with anything, right? Your budget caps will remain intact. The only thing our software is doing is just turning off your campaigns in the worst hours of your choice. You can pick those hours, right? Another question is, doesn't pausing the campaigns erase the previous historic data? So that's not true. You have examples right here, and we are actually using this for the past, 6 months, with so many of our agency clients who are seeing better results because of it. So nothing changes with pausing the campaigns. There's no history that gets erased. It's all part of the campaign. So you're saying no hourly data in UK market. Do you know about it? Okay, so I don't know about it. It might be something that's being rolled out slowly, but I'm just curious. Did you actually go into the campaigns report, or did you try to look for it in some other way? Like, so you have to go into the campaign report download, and then the hourly should come up. Okay, so if you tried it and it didn't work, then maybe it's still getting rolled out. We have seen it show up in multiple marketplaces. Eventually it will, but if you want to, if you have multiple markets like US and UK, you might be able to do like an approximation. Other than that, I don't know any other way, unless you run something like Amazon Marketing Cloud or Amazon Marketing Stream, which again are pretty big, it's not easy for most people to use those or get access to those. So if somehow you can find out the worst hours, or if you just want to do a blind test, that's also fine, So you want to, okay, so Scott says, can you share the QR code for the Google Sheet again? Yes, of course, I can do that right now. So I'll share my screen. And then let me just go back. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Here it is. Okay. All right. So okay. So then Scott said that. Marcus, thank you. So the software does only touch ad groups and leave pause campaigns alone, correct? Yeah, so only the ad group level is enabled or disabled. The campaigns that are paused, they remain paused. Nothing happens to them. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Any other questions? Scott says, yeah, thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Any doubts about departing? Did you have any kind of other questions? Okay, Andy says, how confident are we that Amazon has control of the times that clicks occur and link back to the sales, especially add to carts and only buy later? Should we not consider results for last week? So the time window is actually post attribution. So when you download that report, you will get data for the previous period. So you can yourself choose to skip the last 7 days when you're downloading it. That way you can be sure of attribution. Now, just remember, Andy, that this system is not making changes on the fly. It's not reacting to today's data or right now's data. What we're doing essentially is we're taking historical data, we're learning from the patterns that we've seen over and over and over again, right? And then with a great degree of certainty based on that statistic, we're taking the action of going and pausing campaigns at that hour. I think that the confusion in your head is that, if I see only clicks right now and no sales, then is PPC Ninja doing something based on that real-time data? No, there's no real-time stuff happening here. This is all based on historical data that we have a fair amount of confidence in, which is why I said earlier that you need data sufficiency. If you don't have enough data, then you can't make the right decision about when to pause and when to leave those campaigns running. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Ritu, why I was bringing this up was do we have confidence? I mean, like I've got 100% confidence in the processes that you're using, etc. But do we have confidence in Amazon being able to actually go back and link those clicks back to a time that actually occurred, especially when some people go and chuck stuff in their cart and then they only pay for it at the end of the month, things like that.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the reason why you have a choice of excluding the last 7 days and only going back a previous time period. That way you can be sure that everything has been attributed. So Amazon's attribution window is 7 days for sponsored product ads, which means if a click happened 7 days ago and a sale happened today from that click, then today's sale will be attributed to the 7 days ago data. So what I'm suggesting is if you throw away the last 7 days of data and go back 21 days to the last 7 days and pick that window, then all the sales that had to be attributed are already attributed, right? So that is fairly accurate. In fact, that's what we all base our decisions on, so that it can't get more accurate than that, right? That basically
Okay.
that's all we have to play with, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Then Norey says, does keyword ranking help us by telling to low budgets on specific keywords? I'm not sure if I understand your question. Keyword ranking help us to lower budget on specific keywords. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can give a little bit more context. That'll be great. So budget has not got anything to do with keyword ranking, right? Whether you change your budget, make it low or high, it doesn't have anything to do with ranking. Ranking is to do with bids and your relevancy over time, right? If you have, if you have if you can train Amazon to believe that every time someone clicks on your ad, when they type a certain keyword, they associate that keyword with your product, and that's how you build up ranking over time, right? So you need lots of sales coming from a keyword search that results in a conversion of your product, right? It's not anything to do with budgets. Cool. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? So yeah, just letting you know that we are here for you. If you guys need any help in setting any of this up, just email support@ppcninja.com. We'll be happy to get on a call with you, handhold you, and get things set up. Also, if you need help with the keyword rank tracking setup, again, it requires a little bit of complex setup, which basically touches BigQuery and Looker Studio. Me and my team are available to help you guys get over that hurdle so that you don't have to think through it. So we'll just get on a screen share and just help you with it, right? So Naroyes has another question. In Data Dive Rank Radar helps you by telling you ranking in the form of position on specific keyword. This helps you knowing what improvements a Ninja tool do the same. Yes, yes, yes. We basically do the same kind of rank tracking. You can set up all the keywords that you want to rank track, and it'll tell you day by day how your rank changes. So yeah, that's all included in this. Imagine in the 199, you get all of this. You get day parting, you get keyword rank tracking, and you get one of the most powerful PPC management tools out there. So, a little bit about our software. We do bid adjustments, keyword discovery, um, uh, you know, um, automation of budgets, placements, bidding strategies, a whole lot of things. And all of this comes at the minimum 199 tier if you have that many ASINs. Yeah. Cool. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. We're going to wrap up here, and we'll see you guys around. Take care. Bye.